Welcome again, friends, to Spirituality Spots with Sister Kathy. I am so happy that you're joining me. In the next couple of weeks, we celebrate two of my favorite solemnities. You'll remember that a solemnity is a special feast in the church, and those two are Ascension and Pentecost. Traditionally, Ascension was celebrated on Thursday of the week, 40 days after Easter, but many dioceses have gone to celebrating Ascension on the Sunday, so it will be celebrated the seventh Sunday of Easter. And Pentecost, of course, is celebrated 50 days after Easter and is well known as the birthday of the church. And what the church offers us in these two special feasts is rich of Ascension and Pentecost. So often in my experience, I have heard people say to me, well, sister, life here on earth is really one in which we've had to struggle and we've had to suffer. And I can't wait until we get to heaven and where it'll be totally bliss and we will be experiencing the joy and the beauty of heaven with the Lord. And I oftentimes say to people, that's really not the teaching of the Catholic Church. At Easter, we were created anew. And what that means is in daily life is that really we have the freedom to cooperate with God's grace. We have the freedom to live God's divine nature. How many of us need to live and to start living in God's grace and in God's divine nature here on earth? Story someone told me once that Jesus ascends to heaven and the angel Gabriel meets him at the gates and says, Jesus, you're back so soon? And Jesus says, well, I was on earth for a few years and I'm ready to be back and to enjoy life with the Father and everyone in heaven. And he says, well, what if the people that you have left back on earth do not fulfill your mission? And Jesus says, I don't have a plan B. And so the main emphasis of that story is we are Jesus' plan. We are plan A. And what Jesus means by that is we are to go forth and be witnesses of Jesus' life, death, and resurrection. We are to be his missionary disciples. What did Jesus say before he ascended? You will receive power from the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit will come upon you, and you will be my witnesses to all that you have seen and heard. There is a link, of course, between Ascension and Pentecost. The church is the privileged place where this happens. Every time we practice the spiritual and corporal works of mercy, every time we live saintly lives, every time we perform the works of mercy, and especially when we receive Jesus in the Eucharist, where the statement is that the angels will come to earth and bring heaven to earth. Ascension has nothing to do with another galaxy, as the astronauts who just came down from another galaxy, or Darth Vader. But it has everything to do with what's going on in another dimension. And this dimension is not alien to us. Living the Lord's love, his truth, his joy is our essential ability that we have since we have experienced the Lord. It is our source of inspiration, of our power and direction. So when Jesus went up to heaven, the angel said, what are you looking for up in the sky? Get busy and be Jesus this week to all you meet. I pray that the peace of the Lord be with you this week, that you have a good week. God bless you, and thank you again for joining me.